Libra, welcome to your weekly Sidereal forecast for June 29th through July 5th. My name is Athen. So we've got a full moon this week, right on Wednesday, here in your third house of communications, learning, reading, writing, exchanging information. Siblings is also seen from the third house, your peers. Seeing others at eye level and exchanging on that level is what the third house is all about. So you've had Pluto here transiting in the third for many years, helping you restructure the way you think about things, the way you speak and communicate as well. And so now this full moon is happening very close to that transit of Pluto, really helping you see that part of your life and illuminating that part of your life very much. So it's always a good idea with the full moon to reflect and to look at it and to have that awareness of it. And it's also a high energy time. So putting in any change, and the more willing we are to change with this kind of full moon, the better, because that's what Pluto does. It just changes, and it changes things for ways that we don't necessarily know are for the best, but they are for the best. And so the more open we are to change in general, then the easier it is, the less destructive it might seem, as Pluto is often depicted. But it's all just a matter of our perspective and our attitude towards change, which for all of us, change is not an easy thing, but here the more willing we are, the more it'll flow. And so this here is positive changes in regards to your communications and thinking patterns and how you're seeing things like this. And anything new you started in this third house relating to a new writing, new course, new reading, things like this, or just new way of looking at things, can be a high point and culmination since then with this energy. It's also a culmination of any new beginnings you set off in relation to this new moon from the 8th and 9th house, which was relating to the deeper aspects of life, which you still have Mercury thinking about the true meaning of life, truth, transparency, vulnerability in relationships perhaps. And then all this energy you still have with the Sun and Mars in the 9th, which is about asserting your life path, your philosophy, your outlook on life, your just overall expansion of your mind, and perhaps even thinking about traveling and doing these types of things. So all of that is finding the balancing point, very important here, because with those culminations, this energy is still here, and the full moon is always a time of finding the balance. And here it's the balance of wisdom. It's the balance of knowledge. And you've got the third house, which is the left side of the brain, which has to do with the rational, practical learning, that type of stuff. And then the 9th house, which is the expansive, philosophical, more imaginative, endless possibilities, right side of the brain, which is important to incorporate, because obviously they're two different hemispheres of the brain, but we're working with them in tandem. And that's exactly the way to see this, to see how these philosophical areas of life can be practical, and how these very mundane or practical areas of life can be expansive and optimistic, philosophical or spiritual. So finding that balance there is going to be very important. Again, without having that attachment to what you say, what you're communicating, to the things you're thinking about, you'll find that easier. The change there will take place, and then it'll happen very naturally. And then you'll find it very, very positive for the way that you see things and communicate into the future. So that's the middle part of the week on Wednesday. Then so coming into this week, let's start off at the beginning. We've got this beautiful conjunction with Venus and Jupiter here in your 10th house of career, work, and everything on that public level. So you've had Jupiter there. There's been perhaps lots of opportunities there. Perhaps you've been enjoying the work or making relationships and connections there. This is your ruler too, by the way. So you're just becoming more public and more aware. Others are becoming more aware of you. You're at the top. You're seen, or maybe there's some more leadership sort of positions or things like that. Whatever at work that is elevating you to a status or accolades or whatever it is. But anyways, opportunities with those things. And Venus, who also rules your 8th house, is also opportunities for change, and wanting that change. I think you are optimistic about this stuff, like change and stuff, you Libra. So that's quite nice. And then I think continuing to enjoy the communication stuff, which I think you have been, or can, with Venus conjuncting the ruler of your third, Jupiter. And then also enjoying the routine, the health, the diet, things of that nature. And so right on Monday, Uranus trines up to that Venus. So there can be, with all this change stuff with the work environment, the routine, the health, things like that. You've been releasing a lot of old stuff relating to that. And there's been a freedom that's been found, I think, this year for all of you generally in regards to the health and diet and things like that, which is then supporting all of this public or career stuff, especially this week on Monday. So very nice there. also supporting a lot of the changes. Now, on Wednesday, we have that full moon, and then Wednesday through Thursday, we've got the sun trining up to Neptune, which is there's this flow about our self-expression. I think generally, well, it has been for you. Neptune in the 5th house has been showing you the importance of just trusting and flowing with the process of your creation, the process of what you're expressing, your playful side. Enjoying life. It's a spiritual process. It's something that'll come through trusting and flowing in general. So anyways, perhaps you're reflecting on some of those things relating to self-expression and creativity with Neptune retrograde, but that's very supportive this week as Neptune trines up to your sun with all this energy and assertiveness with the expansive, adventurous side of life. Now, also on that same time period, mid to late week, you've got Mars squaring up to your north node, requiring that extra attention with the spiritual or meditative or relaxing side of things this week. I think will be very important with the North Node. This whole year, it's been very important for you to move into more relaxation, more about spiritual connection, connecting to God, connecting to all that is, however you see that. And more of that attention is necessary, I would say, with a square from Mars, but it can be very constructive when you put in the energy, interestingly as that sounds, into making sure that you are taking the time to relax, connect, meditate, whatever it is you do to connect to all that is. So that is the middle part of the week. Then on Thursday through Sunday, we've got Mercury forming a lot of aspects here, sextiles mostly, starting with Uranus on Thursday. So with all this freedom here with the routine crafts and daily work environment, I think you'll find that very supportive with these things you're thinking about in terms of the deeper aspects of life. Also supportive with the relaxation, Mercury ruling your 12th house. And also in regards to this life path stuff, I think there's an inspiration here, and it's changing the way you see things, changing your outlook on life in many ways, in terms of the changes of life and what life is about. So that's that. Friday, Mercury squares up to Chiron, which is, all about this healing with, again, going with the flow with your self-expression and playfulness has been healing, and more healing there. So bringing attention to the 5th house this weekend, mostly around Friday, I think will be important. Maybe putting in that extra energy to enjoy life, to have fun, to express yourself, to create. And I think you'll find that very constructive and healing. Friday and Saturday, Mercury sextiles up to that conjunction. Very nice. Again, learning more about wisdom, philosophy, what life is about, what the routine's going, how you're communicating, how the changes of life are going, all this stuff which is involving this. Can also be maybe some opportunities at work as well, because of course that sextile can mean doors opening, but of course with those easy aspects we have to walk through those doors and make them into a reality. But still very nice over the weekend there, or at least thinking about that stuff and setting any maybe even long-term goals around it would be quite nice. Saturn's going retrograde Saturday and Sunday and into next week back into your 1st house. So over the past few years, maybe you guys have assumed some more responsibility, maybe relating to work recently and things like this. So now it's a retrograde back into there to assume more of this responsibility, maturity, hard work, and discipline, which was Saturn in your 1st house for the past few years, up until the later part of this year. But for the next couple months while he's in there, putting in that hard work and attention to goals, self-assertiveness, things like this, in a very stern, mature, grounded way, I think will be an important consideration. But that's going to be mostly next week, and like I said, for the next few months. All right, Libra, well, I hope you guys have a nice week. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you're new to this form of astrology, do check out masteringthezodiac.com or the description down below, because this is different from the traditional Western approach to things. So have a nice one. If you have any questions, I'm here, and I'll see you next time. Take care.